Hello, welcome to another interesting episode of the program Sports Preview on Bua Community Voice. Of course, it is proudly sponsored by Maxbet, a platform with a 100% bonus on your very first deposit of 100,000 naira and below. In fact, it's interesting because you can get 300 naira just for registering on Maxbet. Visit www.maxbet.ng and start winning big as soon as possible. For this episode, we're talking about the Serie A games. That will be coming through on Friday. Yes, Cremonese will be up against Sassuolo, and also we'll see AC Milan being very much involved in the game coming through in the Serie A. Yes, I mentioned it rightly. Milan will be playing in that one up against Lecce in an interesting encounter to look out for. My name is OG of Fedodobolo, and I won't be doing this alone. I have with me Bonfrey Joe and the man CI Zoro. Yeah, good to have you on the program, CI. Interestingly, I told you that we are diving straight into the Serie A. Yes, the league of the Italians, where it is always super hot. A lot of predictions are saying it will be Napoli again this season from top footballing authorities, but then you never can tell. It is just the beginning of a brand new season. Criminals say they have a chance to start a top flight campaign with back-to-back wins when they play fellow promoted side Sassuolo. That will be the match day 2 fixture. When you win your first game upon promotion, it brings a high level of confidence, and of course going again to play a team that you played during your time in the Serie B. It's even more confidence coming into that one for the team that got a win. And so we'll see what happens, just the return with that 2-1 away win over AC Milan tells you the full story of what Cremonese wants to do as a team. And now Sassuolo, newcomers also, what are we to expect?
I think the home side will want to dwell on their winning pattern. Since 2009 till date, they played a total of 9 matches with their away side. They played a total match with them, 9 games with them. And out of that 9 games, they managed to win 3 of them and got 2 draws. That's a plus for them. So they want to keep on that winning ways. With a win against AC Milan, I tell you, that match against AC Milan was a plus for them.
Yeah, but is AC Milan saying AC Milan we used to know?
No, it may not be the AC Milan we used to know, but the name, that Milan is still there.
It's just like saying Manchester United and saying Manchester United is not Manchester United. See,
the name
AC Milan name is a brand. Yes, we understand that, but their current form is nothing to write home about. From me to you.
But I feel no matter how bad it is,
the name should stand for them.
AC Milan have got good crop of players.
Yes.
And for this team to get that win, it could be putting them in a very serious advantage coming into this fixture. Let's get to it.
And then Cremonese, for an example, has 15 Serie A fixtures, and then all of those matches saw them under 2.5. You understand? And then moving on, I feel like they would want to maintain a particular, just like he said, winning strikes from the both teams. Having a promoted team to win at some point and then win their first match at some point, they would want to use that agility to come back to the second one, which is boosting their own, for me, boosting the morale for them to be able to attack aggressively and equally have a very how do I put it now? A very good output at the end of the day. That match alone, from me to you, is a go match either ways. You understand? There must be goals from the two camps, because the two camps are eager and ready to be able to compete for each other.
Of course, compete. Let me just tell you, 11 of Cremonese's last 14 matches have seen both teams to score. And of course, also their last 7 competitive games have seen it, under 2.5, like CI pointed out, and Sassuolo conceding first in 4 of their last 5 Serie A matches puts them in a situation where they could go behind also in that one. But it will be important to note that little separate these two sides overall, because in head-to-heads, is Cremonese who've won 5, drawn 3 and lost 4. They've picked up 4 points in the last season's Serie B clashes, while Sassuolo did the same, winning 1 and drawing 1 in their last 2 top flight meetings in 2022-2023 season. I think is a repeat of what happened last season in Serie B, but this time in Serie A.
Yeah.
And just like you pointed out, the win over AC Milan
It's a good for them.
could kick them just a little step ahead to see where they can get in this one. Yes, on Maxbet, to make sure that we go all around the globe because we want you to start winning. It's not just about the Premier League alone. We make sure that we stop by wherever is happening and to bring it for you to start with. Don't forget on Maxbet, you stand the chance to win big when you visit www.maxbet.ng. I tell you, because that site gives you a user-friendly site where you can start winning big, 100% bonus on your first deposit. Also, you can also stand a chance. Yes, you stand a huge chance, to get into that interesting registration bonus of 300 naira just for you upon registration. So I would advise that you tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody so you can stand a big chance. But let's head straight now to talk about Lecce up against AC Milan again. Milan, the struggle against Cremonese, they've not been where they want to be. They've got a new coach. They wanted to sign Victor Boniface, our brother. He didn't pass his medicals because they felt like the two ACLs, he's a player who could be fit enough to do all they want. But after suffering that shocking defeat on the opening weekend of the Serie A, AC Milan, they are traveling now to play Lecce. That will be looking if they can open their account for the 2025-2026 season. What's your take on it?
I think for AC Milan against Lecce, I think it's a history that has kept on to repeat itself. That in all the matches they played, at total of 13 matches since 1993 till date, 13 matches. And this Lecce side has not been able to get even out of 3 wins, just 2 wins in total for them. So AC Milan has an upper hand there. And no matter what AC Milan is facing, no matter the crisis, the player crisis they're having, or they not being in form at all, I think this match should be a plot. This match should tell them that if we don't win this, then we are no longer AC Milan.
Okay, of course, it's still very early, but he's just trying to say that they would need a win to prove a point. The new Lecce boys, I'm talking about Silvio De Francesco, made a very satisfactory start to the Serie A life after getting that goalless draw at Genoa. They are yet to score a goal because, of course, in the first outing, they ended in a goalless draw. But up against AC Milan, what are you expecting from Lecce?
I said at the first instance that AC Milan is not really where I think they ought to be, and I still maintain that. But with Lecce, I think it's different because just like you said, they've had this powerhouse authority against Lecce. Now talking about AC Milan, where the last time they lost was in April 2006. Other than that, before then, they've won 9 times and, of course, drew 5 times. You get, and then moving on, I think AC Milan, has in their last 13 Serie A away games not really lost. They've never really played level. It has always been their win and then 1 draw. You understand? Their win and about, I beg your pardon, 6 losses. Now in their away games, not against Lecce. Now Lecce, on the other hand, has had a very, very irregular Friday night fixture, showdown. Let me put it this way, because they've lost 5 of their last 7 Friday held Serie A matches. You understand? Winning only 1 and drawing 1, which says a lot. And this is Friday again, And I think probably something of that nature might still repeat itself, considering the fact that they already have a history of AC Milan winning them. And then, coincidentally, it happens to be on a Friday, right? So looking at some of those things, as much as some persons will beg to disagree, but looking at some of those things as part of the criteria, as in you might see a Lecce that might be hanging on the ladder.
Okay, we'll see what happens. Let me still add that Milan coach Massimiliano Allegri is unbeaten in his last 9 head-to-heads against Lecce, winning 8 and drawing just 1. Puts him in a very good position against this Lecce side. We've seen Allegri manage the likes of Juventus in his time in Italy here, and now with AC Milan, he's won 8 and drawn 1 against Lecce. So we're looking at what that game will also bring. Lecce don't appear to have any new injury concerns, while Milan's Rafael Leao, missed the opener with a calf injury. So you begin to wonder. He's a very, very important player for AC Milan. So not having him in this one could also pose like a big problem. But I feel like if Milan functions the way they should, this fixture shouldn't be an issue. AC Milan returned a very strong hold on this fixture, last losing in April of 2006, winning 9 and drawing 5. That's a long time. I don't think it's a history they might be willing to break it.
It's not, I don't think they'll be able to break it this season because they are ups and downs in this area has become a problem for AC Milan, considering the names that have been brought into the games, the likes of Napoli, Atlanta, Inter Milan. They are, these are clubs that want to keep on making history in Italian Serie A. So I don't think AC Milan will be able to do that again.
Yeah, and I feel like AC Milan they need a striker. If Boniface did not work, I feel like they should be in the
they should go into the market. Or better still, I know that one thing about all these clubs that they have their what are they calling it? There's the junior side, the under 21, the academy. Yeah, the academy. They can move into the academy
to play in the Serie A season when
wait. In England, they do it in England. You go to the Serie A.
I can't think about any top team that's using a striker from the academy.
Arsenal did it some times ago. Not Saka. The likes of Wakot. He came from the academy.
He was never. Wakot was never a regular from the academy as a striker for us.
No, I'm just saying they can make somebody come in, then make a substitute, managing what they have to get what they want.
This is a Milan side that should be vying for the Scudetto.
Exactly.
To rival the likes of Napoli.
Atlanta.
And Inter Milan. What happened at Napoli? They used to have Osimhen when they won the first league title in over 3 decades, and they now brought in Romelu Lukaku as a replacement. What's happening at Inter Milan? There is a certain Lautaro Martinez who is doing the magic and banking in goals every other weekend. What is happening at AC Milan? And this is a club that used to have very top quality footballers like Shevchenko.
Yes.
Inzaghi.
Yes.
So it's not the number 9 of the top teams in the world is not a place for any minnows. I'm not saying that players. Let's even talk about teams like Liverpool that have got wonder kids that have been promoted like Gravenberch shooting at the middle of the park. A certain section of the Liverpool fans feel like they need a proven player in that position to make things work out. I'm a huge fan of promoting players from the academy, but I feel you need a proven striker. I mean, a striker who scored goals, who is known for goal scoring. I mean, Boniface is a player that played for Bayern because in a season where they went unbeaten, they only lost to Atlanta in that 3-0 loss that happened in the final of the UEFA Europa League. And this is the kind of player that they need. But I understand that you cannot sign an injured player.
Yeah.
I'm not a support of that. ACL is a dangerous one. And a lot of players do not go back to their normal self after an ACL injury. And you don't want to make a signing and have the signing sit on the bench. So I feel like that's why it didn't work out. But I'm still very particular that Allegri and AC Milan need to get into the market and get the best strikers before the window closes.
Yeah.
Of course, we agree, and that is what we are doing. So we just wait and see what happens when Silvio De Francesco plays against Maximiliano Allegri after that embarrassing 2-1 loss to Allegri's AC Milan side in the opening game of the season. I want to add before we close up that it's always good when the season does not start so well for you as a team and the window is still.
Yeah.
You can make amends. Ship out those who are not useful in the team. Getting new players. This also applies to Manchester United after that very, very disappointing, disgraceful loss to a team in the 4th tier of the English football. I'm talking about Grimsby Town. We'll talk about that on the next episode when we'll have time to talk about the Premier League. Just make sure that you're going. But before we go, let's get into the predictions for this one. Let's start with Lecce up against AC Milan for you.
I think Lecce to win.
Lecce to win?
Yeah. No, sorry. I made a mistake there. AC Milan.
I was wondering.
AC Milan.
I was wondering because that's so much of that 5 odds
Yeah.
to talk about. AC Milan to win is on 1.7 odds if you can go with it. So you think AC Milan will get a win? So what's your take?
I think AC Milan will be winning, scoring on both halves.
Oh wow, interesting. AC Milan to win, and of course, scoring the most half of that one. Let's talk about Cremonese against Sassuolo.
I think the Cremonese side has the upper hand to win in this match.
Upper hand to win.
Yeah, I think
Cremonese.
yeah, win or draw for them.
Yeah, anyone would think in that direction after beating AC Milan, but sometimes it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, but-
Remember Sunderland after getting a very, very huge win in the Premier League up against West Ham.
Yeah.
They were bashed in the next one. What's your take?
I think it's both teams to score.
Both teams to score in that one. Yes, Zola been very particular about both teams scoring between Cremonese and Sassuolo. So you can go to www.maxbet.ng and start arranging that bet so that you can be a winner today. Thank you very much, Murphy. And of course to you, Zoro. You had an amazing time. Thank you so much for being a part of this one. We always urge you to make sure that you subscribe and turn on the notification button so that whenever this kind of video and a lot more comes, you can be able to watch. My name is Oji of Double. Say adios.